Hey there, third graders. Today during math, we are going to be working on some subtraction. Your learning targets will be I can subtract with zeros in the top number, as well as I can explain when to subtract using two different methods. Let's get started on this. Looking at the directions, it says to solve each problem, show your work numerically and with proof drawings. Numerically, we're going to write out our problem using numbers, and with a proof drawing, we are going to use my place value, hundreds, blocks, 10 sticks, and cubes method. Lakesha bought a box of 500 paper clips. So far, she has used 138 of them. How many are left? What do we need to do to solve the problem? I think we're going to have to do some subtracting here. Let's remember to draw a magnifying glass to remember to look closely at the 500 and ungroup before we subtract. So let's draw that magnifying glass. Remember, this will help us to remember that we need to look closely at this. And when I see that there's zeros in the tens place and the ones place. That's making me start to think I'm going to have to do some ungrouping for this problem. Let's start with using a proof drawing. There were 500 paper clips, 138 were used. So we're going to start with the 500 that Lakeisha had. There's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, when I look at the tens place and the ones place, I see that I'm going to have to do some subtracting here, but there's zeros on top, which means that I'm going to have to do some borrowing. So I'm going to borrow 100, which is going to leave us with 400 blocks, and I'm going to make 10 sticks because I am replacing my hundreds blocks with 10 sticks, so I'm able to borrow there. I also notice that in the ones place, I have a zero on top, but I'm going to have to subtract there. So I'm right away going to take away a 10 stick and make 10 ones cubes. So if I look at this, I still have 500. I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 410, 420, 430, 440, 450, 460, 470, 480, 490, 491, 492, 493, 494, 495, 496, 497, 498, 499, 500. There's still 500 there. It's just represented in a different way. Now I'm able to subtract. Now I have 10 ones. I'm able to take 8 away. So I'm going to cross out 8 of them. I have 5, 6, 7, 8. That is going to leave 2 left. Now I can go to the tens place. There's 9 10 sticks for a value of 90. Minus, I need to take 30 away. So I'm going to cross out 3 10 sticks. That will leave us with 6 10 sticks. And then I have 4 hundreds blocks left, and I need to take 1 hundreds block away. That leaves us with 3 hundreds blocks for a value of 300. So we started with 500 paper clips, we took 100 away. That left us with 362 paper clips left. Remember, there's two ways when we are ungrouping. First, you can do step by step. So, and this is the method that I like to use so that I make sure I'm not forgetting things. When I start, I look and I see that there's 2 zeros. I know I'm going to have to borrow from the hundreds place. So I borrow 100. That leaves us with 4 hundreds. And I give 100 of that to the tens place. That would leave me with 10 sticks for a value of 100. But I know that I'm going to have to borrow from the tens place as well because I have a 0 in the ones. So if I borrow 10 from 1 sticks from the tens place, that will leave me with 9 sticks left, and that has made 10 ones cubes in the ones place. Or you could use the ungroup all at once method. When I do that, again I see there's zeros in the tens in the ones place, so I'm going to have to borrow from the 100s. If I borrow 100, that's going to leave me with 400. I'll have to have 9 sticks because I'll need 10 ones cubes. Two different ways to ungroup when you're working with zeros, step by step or ungroup all at once. Let's practice some of these methods before you work on them on your own today. A movie theater has 400 seats. At the noon show, 329 seats were filled. How many seats were empty? When I see this problem, I am going to circle those numbers. Remember to look closely. I'm going to use that magnifying glass. Also want to underline what is the question that they're asking. They want to know how many seats were empty. And when I look at this, I know that I'm going to have to do some subtracting. So there were 400 seats. The movie theater has 400. 329 seats were filled. So I'm going to take those 329 seats away to figure out how many seats were empty or how many seats are still left. When I do this, I notice that there's 2 zeros, 1 in the tens place, 1 in the ones place, so I'm going to have to do some grouping. I'm going to use the step-by-step method. I'm going to have to borrow from the hundreds. If I take 100 away, that leaves me with 300. I give that 100 to the tens place. But I also am going to have to borrow for the ones place, so that I'm going to cross out that 10. That's going to leave me with 9 sticks because I've given 1 stick to the ones place. Now I have 10 ones. Looks like I'm ready to start by subtracting. I can take 9 away from 10. That's going to leave 1 ones cube. I move into the tens place. I have 9. I need to take 2 away. I'm able to solve that. That would leave 7 sticks left. Now I move to the hundreds place and I have 300 minus 300. That is going to leave me with 0 hundreds. So we have 71 empty seats in the movie theater. You could also use a proof drawing to check your work. Let's try another one. At the start of the school year, Seiko had a brand new box of 300 crayons. Now 79 crayons are broken. How many unbroken crayons does Seiko have? Again, I'm going to use that magnifying glass to help me remember that I'm going to have to be a subtraction detective and really look at what I'm subtracting. He started the year with 300 crayons. 79 of those crayons are broken. How many are unbroken? subtracting. I'm going to take away the 79 that are broken to figure out how many are unbroken. I see that I have zeros in the tens place and the ones place again. I'm going to use the step-by-step method. I borrow 100 and give it to the tens place. That is going to leave 200. If I give 100 to the tens place, I will have 10 10 sticks. I also will need to do some borrowing for the ones place. So if I take one 10 stick away from the tens and give it to the ones, I will have 10 ones cubes, and that has left me with 9 10 sticks. I am able to start my subtracting. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 7, 2. And I have 200. And I have nothing here in the hundreds place to take away. So that is going to leave 200. There are 221 unbroken crayons. Subtracting from whole dollar amounts. Let's try this. Solve each problem, show your work numerically and with proof drawings. Armando brought $9 to the store. He bought a game for $3.42. How much money did he have left? I noticed something right away. Even though I'm using money, I still have zeros in the tens and the ones, where our pennies and our dimes would be. When I am subtracting with money, I'm going to make sure to keep everything in nice order. Armando brought $9 to the store. He bought a game for $3.24, so I'm going to do some subtracting. $3. Keep that decimal point right underneath the other decimal point. And just like before, I am going to have to ungroup starting in the hundreds place. If I take $1 away, I'm left with 8. I give that $1 to the dimes, or to my tens place, I will have 10 dimes. But I'm also have 0 in the ones, so I need to do some borrowing from the tens. So I'm going to borrow 1 dime, that leaves me with 9 or 90 cents. And I exchange that for 10 pennies. I'm able to start my subtracting. 10 minus 2 is going to leave us with 8 pennies. 9 dimes minus 4 will leave us with 5 dimes, for 50 cents. And then $8 minus $3 is going to leave us with $5. How much money did he have left? He had $5.58 left. Okay, you are going to have a worksheet to work on practicing some of these subtraction strategies. Your directions are to subtract, make proof drawings for exercises 7 through 10 on a separate sheet of paper. Number 15 is in your math journal. You need to write a word problem that is solved by subtracting a 3-digit number from a number of thousands. Then solve the problem. You will also do 16 through 23. Again, you're subtracting and making proof drawings if you need to on a separate sheet of paper. If you have any questions or you're still unsure of some of the subtraction strategies, you can go back and watch the video again. Otherwise, you can get started on your problems.